The vast emptiness of space was momentarily filled with the ominous hum of alien warships. Their sleek, obsidian hulls cut through the void, casting shadows on the earth below. Captain Alex Carter watched from the bridge of the Raptor as the alien fleet loomed closer, his face a mask of grim determination. "Captain, their ships are in firing range," Sergeant Emily Ross reported, her voice steady despite the tension that crackled in the air. She adjusted her headset, her eyes fixed on the console's glowing readouts. "Maintain our defensive posture," Alex ordered, his gaze unwavering. "And prepare the howitzer. We're going to show them they've underestimated us." On the view screen, the alien warlord Zoran's flagship commanded the fleet with an arrogance that bordered on contempt. Zoran, a towering figure of alien design, regarded Earth's defenses with a dismissive sneer. His bridge was adorned with high-tech interfaces and pulsating lights, a stark contrast to the rugged simplicity of human artillery. "Earth's defenses are laughable," Zoran declared, his voice echoing with a metallic resonance. "Their so-called howitzer is nothing more than a relic. This invasion will be effortless." The alien fleet's advance was met with a barrage of energy blasts, but Earth's defenses were holding. The howitzer, a formidable piece of technology from an era past, stood ready in the command center. Its massive barrel gleamed under the harsh lights, a symbol of human ingenuity and resilience. Emily adjusted the howitzer's targeting systems, her fingers dancing over the controls. "Captain, the howitzer is operational. We're ready to fire on your command." Alex's eyes were sharp as he surveyed the scene. "Initiate targeting. We'll give them a taste of what they're really up against." Outside, the alien ships continued their relentless assault, beams of energy cutting through the atmosphere. The explosions rocked the surface, sending shockwaves through the ground. Alex could feel the vibrations under his boots, the impact of each blast a reminder of the stakes at hand. "Locking in the coordinates," Emily announced, her concentration evident. The howitzer's system hummed as it aligned with the approaching alien fleet. Zoran's fleet was moving with calculated precision, but a flicker of doubt crossed his features as he observed the howitzer's preparation. His confidence wavered, but only for a moment. "Prepare for orbital bombardment. We will obliterate their defenses." The hum of the howitzer grew louder, resonating through the command center. Alex's breath steadied as he issued the final command. "Fire!" The howitzer roared to life, a brilliant flash illuminating the darkened sky as the projectile streaked toward the alien fleet. For a brief moment, time seemed to stretch as the missile cut through the void. The impact was catastrophic. The alien warships trembled under the force of the howitzer's shot, their shields buckling and hulls cracking. The fleet that had once seemed invincible now reeled from the unexpected blow. Zoran's eyes widened as his flagship shuddered from the impact. "What is this weapon? It should not be possible!" He barked orders frantically, his previous confidence replaced by alarm. Alex's face softened slightly as he watched the chaos unfold. "They thought they could waltz in and take what they wanted. They didn't realize how wrong they were." Emily's voice was a mix of relief and determination. "Captain, we've damaged their lead ships. They're retreating." Alex nodded, his gaze fixed on the retreating fleet. "Good. Let's make sure they remember this day." As the alien ships began their withdrawal, the command center erupted in cautious celebration. The immediate threat had been repelled, but Alex knew this battle was just the beginning. The real test lay ahead, how humanity would rise to the challenge of an enemy that now knew it had underestimated them. The respite from the initial assault was short-lived. Captain Alex Carter and Sergeant Emily Ross were still processing their victory when the alert siren blared, piercing the calm. The screen in the command center flickered to life, revealing a new threat: alien reinforcements had arrived. "Captain, we've got multiple ships entering the atmosphere," Emily announced, her eyes scanning the data streaming across her console. "They're deploying ground forces." Alex's face hardened. The previous battle had been a significant win, but it was clear the fight was far from over. "Prepare for immediate countermeasures. We can't afford to be caught off guard." The ground trembled as the first wave of alien troops touched down. Their arrival was marked by a series of thunderous impacts, shaking the very earth beneath them. Alien transport ships, sleek and menacing, disgorged their occupants, alien soldiers clad in armored exosuits, weapons primed and ready. Alex strode to the observation window, his gaze fixed on the alien dropships. "Get me a live feed from the outer defenses. I want to see what we're up against." Emily's fingers danced over the controls, and a series of holographic images sprang to life, displaying the alien troops advancing toward their positions. "Their numbers are overwhelming, Captain. We need to act fast." The command center was a hive of activity as Alex and Emily coordinated the response. Alex's voice cut through the chaos with authority. "Deploy additional units to the perimeter. We'll need every available fighter to hold them off." "Understood," Emily replied, her face set in determined lines. "I'll update the field teams and ensure they're ready." In the midst of the flurry, Alex glanced at the holo display showing the approaching alien forces. "Their tactics are aggressive. They're not just attacking, they're attempting to overwhelm us with sheer numbers." Emily nodded, her expression grim. "If they break through, they'll have access to critical infrastructure. We can't let that happen." The alien soldiers, a mix of towering brutes and agile skirmishers, charged forward, their weapons unleashing bursts of energy that tore through the defenses. The once strong fortifications began to falter under the relentless onslaught. Alex and Emily moved to a tactical console, analyzing the rapidly changing battlefield. "We've got to focus on the alien command units," Alex said. "If we can disrupt their coordination, we might be able to slow their advance." Emily tapped into the communication network, sending out new orders to the field units. "Field teams, prioritize targeting the alien command units. We need to break their leadership to gain the upper hand." The battle raged on, and the command center was a whirlwind of activity. The sounds of explosions and the hum of energy weapons filled the air, creating a cacophony that reflected the chaos unfolding outside. Alex watched as the alien troops breached a section of the perimeter, pushing their way into the base. He clenched his jaw, feeling the weight of responsibility. "We can't let them get any further. Prepare for a counteroffensive." Emily's fingers flew over the controls, deploying automated defenses and recalibrating the Howitzer for precise targeting. "Deploying countermeasures now. The Howitzer is ready to provide support." As the Howitzer roared back to life, its powerful shots reverberated through the battlefield, carving a path through the advancing alien troops. The tide of the battle shifted as the alien forces began to retreat under the sheer force of the human response. The alien command units, now under heavy assault, started to falter. Their once confident advance was being pushed back, and their coordination deteriorated. "We're pushing them back," Emily said, a note of relief in her voice. "But we need to keep up the pressure." Alex nodded, his eyes fixed on the holo display. "We've made progress, but this is far from over. Stay vigilant and prepare for further engagements. We can't afford to let our guard down." The sun had barely risen when the next wave of alien forces arrived. Captain Alex Carter stood at the command center's observation window, his gaze fixed on the horizon where the alien ships had begun their descent. The ground was still scarred from the previous day's battle, the once pristine landscape now marred by craters and debris. Emily Ross joined him, her face reflecting the early morning light, etched with both fatigue and determination. "Captain, their new assault looks more organized. It's not just a random attack anymore, they're strategizing." Alex nodded, his expression serious. "We need to outthink them. If we can anticipate their moves, we might be able to turn the tide." The command center buzzed with activity as the team prepared for the impending attack. Tactical screens displayed enemy movements, while personnel scurried to reinforce defensive positions. The Howitzer stood ready, its barrel gleaming ominously in the artificial light. Emily turned to Alex, her voice laced with urgency. "We've detected a new type of alien unit, what looks like a heavy assault mech. It's heavily armored and could breach our defenses if we're not careful." Alex's eyes narrowed. "We need to focus on that mech. If it gets through, it could tear apart our defenses before we can mount a proper counteroffensive." What's our best option? Emily's fingers flew over the console, bringing up schematics and strategies. We could deploy a series of traps and diversionary tactics. If we can slow it down, we might have a chance to disable it with concentrated fire. Alex considered this for a moment, weighing the risks. Do it. Set up the traps and prepare a coordinated strike force. We'll need to hit it hard and fast before it reaches the perimeter. As the alien forces advanced, the sky was filled with the thunderous roar of their descent. The heavy assault mech, a towering behemoth of alien design, led the charge, its metallic limbs crushing everything in its path. Its presence was both imposing and intimidating. The Howitzer fired a series of precision shots, but the mech's heavy armor absorbed the blasts, barely flinching as it continued its relentless march. The ground troops, meanwhile, engaged the human defenders in fierce close-quarter combat, their energy weapons blazing. Emily's voice crackled through the comms. Captain, the mech is moving faster than we anticipated. It's headed straight for our eastern flank. Alex's pulse quickened as he surveyed the battlefield. Activate the traps. We need to slow it down now. The ground trembled as the traps, hidden beneath the surface, sprang to life. Explosive charges and energy fields erupted, momentarily halting the mech's advance. The mech's armored hull shimmered as it tried to push through the barriers. In the midst of the chaos, Alex and Emily coordinated a focused strike. The Howitzer's turret swiveled, its powerful shots piercing through the mech's defenses. A barrage of smaller weapons joined in, targeting the weakened points. The mech staggered, its systems struggling to adapt to the relentless assault. Smoke and debris billowed from its damaged joints, and its advance began to slow. The alien forces, seeing their heavy assault unit falter, hesitated, their coordination disrupted. Keep the pressure on! Alex shouted into the comms. We can't let them regroup. The concentrated fire proved effective. The mech's systems overloaded, and it collapsed in a cloud of smoke and twisted metal. The alien forces, seeing their formidable unit destroyed, faltered, their assault losing momentum. Emily, her face smeared with grime and sweat, looked up from her console. We've done it, Captain! The mech is down, and the alien forces are retreating. Alex exhaled, his gaze lingering on the wreckage of the mech. Good work, everyone. But this victory is just a momentary reprieve. They'll regroup and come at us again. As the alien forces began their retreat, the command center team took stock of the damage. The battle had been fierce, but humanity had proven its resilience once again. Alex and Emily exchanged a look of shared determination. Prepare for the next phase, Alex said, his voice resolute. We need to stay ahead of them and be ready for whatever they throw at us next. The command center was silent except for the hum of machines and the occasional beeping of monitors. Captain Alex Carter, exhausted but resolute, stood at the main console, reviewing the latest intelligence reports. The battle had shifted to a new phase. The alien forces were regrouping, preparing for what promised to be their most formidable assault yet. Emily Ross, still flushed from the previous engagements, entered with a determined stride. Captain, we've intercepted new communications from the aliens. They're rallying their forces for a final push. Their primary objective seems to be our central command. Alex's jaw tightened. They're targeting our nerve center. If they breach here, they'll cripple our command and control. We need to fortify our defenses and prepare for a decisive counterattack. Emily nodded, her gaze flicking to the tactical display. We've got a window of opportunity. Their reinforcements are still en route. If we strike now, we might be able to disrupt their coordination and weaken their advance. Alex considered the proposal, his mind racing through potential strategies. Deploy additional forces to the central command and reinforce the perimeter. Prepare a rapid response team for a flanking maneuver. In the pre-dawn darkness, the battlefield outside was a chaotic blur of motion and light. Alien ships hovered ominously, casting eerie shadows over the war-torn landscape. The sound of distant explosions and the clamor of weapons fire filled the air as the final assault began. Alex and Emily, suited in their combat gear, took position near the command center's reinforced defenses. The sight of alien troops moving in organized formations toward their target was both intimidating and motivating. The Howitzer, now positioned to cover the central command, roared to life. Its powerful shots cut through the advancing alien forces, creating a temporary buffer. The surrounding area was littered with the wreckage of fallen alien vehicles and soldiers. Emily activated the tactical network, coordinating with the field units. "Captain, our rapid response team is in position. They're ready to flank the enemy's main force. We need to time this perfectly." Alex's eyes were fixed on the enemy's movements, his mind calculating the optimal moment for their counteroffensive. "Commence the flanking maneuver. Hit them with everything we've got." The rapid response team emerged from their concealed positions, launching a coordinated attack on the alien force's flank. The surprise assault created chaos among the enemy ranks, their formation disintegrating under the pressure. In the midst of the conflict, Alex's comms crackled with an urgent message. "Captain, we've got an incoming transmission from the aliens. They're demanding our surrender or they'll destroy the command center." Alex's face hardened with determination. "They're bluffing. We've held them off before, we can do it again. Keep up the pressure and don't let them breach our defenses." The command center was now a focal point of intense combat. Alien forces pushed forward with renewed vigor, their energy weapons and heavy firepower targeting the reinforced walls. The defenders, fueled by a mixture of desperation and resolve, fought back with equal ferocity. Emily moved through the chaos, her focus unwavering. "Captain, our forces are holding, but we need to address their heavy artillery. It's causing significant damage to our defenses." Alex scanned the battlefield, spotting the source of the alien artillery. "Deploy the remaining reserve units to target their artillery positions. We need to neutralize those threats to secure our perimeter." The reserve units launched a concentrated assault on the alien artillery, their precision fire silencing the enemy's heavy weapons. With their artillery neutralized, the pressure on the central command eased, allowing the defenders to regroup and strengthen their positions. As the battle wore on, the alien forces began to retreat, their advance halted by the relentless human defense. The tide of the conflict had turned, and the aliens, realizing the futility of their assault, began to pull back. The command center, though battered and scarred, remained intact. Alex and Emily, covered in grime and sweat, surveyed the aftermath of the battle. The final push had been a grueling test of endurance and strategy, but humanity had emerged victorious once more. "We did it," Emily said, her voice a mix of relief and exhaustion. "They're retreating." Alex nodded, his gaze sweeping over the battlefield. "This victory won't be the end, but it's a crucial step. We've proven our strength and resilience. We'll be ready for whatever comes next." Like, comment, subscribe, and share. I promise you, nothing will happen to your finger.